yes, Pinter has started globally. In fact, in China, we started end February, and in Spain, just 3 weeks back. And the Italian factory we started last week, and in India we just started yesterday. So with the partial strength as per the government regulations. So hopefully we will be restarting our production in full capacity from 18th onwards, unless other than there is any further extension of the lockdown. So this is the planning what we have done actually. Cannot deny that the crisis has dented everyone, not only Pinter Group or a textile industry, for that matter, any industry have a very big impact on their economical conditions. So, especially in India, before lockdown, there were many orders which we were completing and it was ready for dispatch. Many of our customers were trying to lift the materials so that they want to have this implementation to claim the depreciations. So before the financial year end. So unfortunately, these goods got stuck in our factory and we were not able to dispatch it. So we are waiting for the mills to restart so that we can start dispatching these goods. And in China, as everybody knows the present scenario, so see, after the lockdown period, they very optimistically started their factories. So once they started, within couple of weeks or a month, again they started closing down. All the customers started closing down. This is because of lack of orders, from especially for their exports. So yes, it has definitely dented very badly globally in all our companies, especially with regard to the dispatches. During the lockdown period, we have been constantly in touch with our customers and had several Zoom meetings to update them regarding the maintenance work to be carried out in our system. You see, our systems runs 7 into 24 into 365 days. And this was an opportunity for them also to engage their in-house people. See, most of the customers, our customers, were all having hostel facilities and they were engaging Northeast and North Indian Biharis and other state people to work in their factories. So they engaged them and they started doing their maintenance work. So really, this was a good opportunity for us to support them online to do these activities. And apart from that, we are also in a very much advanced stage for implementing a smart mill project. It's nothing but the digitalization of the complete spinning mill. So we accelerated this with our team, in-house team. We accelerated this process, and we are hopeful to launch this smart mill product once this lockdown and post-COVID scenario. So this is how we engaged our team. Actually, when you say smart mill initiatives, it is a smart mill is an industrial data centric model. This means that it is strongly based on data. Big data and advanced analytics are the key to detect the inefficiencies, predict failures, and simulate industrial processes. Every function and activity performed by man, machine, and interactions among men and group of machines can be measured at real time and corrective actions to be taken to maintain the consistency in the process and people. So this is nothing but a three key enabling technologies. What we know is, one is automation, and with the automation, the data is what you collect. So it is a self-learning of the system, and also the autonomous. Means when I say autonomous means the system predicts that what are all the things to be done. If you come out with the system detects some issues or non-conformities, so our system will recommend the technician what he has to do. We need not wait or the technician need not contact the OEMs, the machinery suppliers to ask for a suggestion. So our system is going to do all these functionalities. Again, with this pandemic and the priorities of the most manufacturers today fall into three distinct phases. The phase one is the survival, which now we are going through. The second phase is recovery. Still, we have not yet come to recovery stage. The third phase is the business in the new post-crisis paradigm. So, as we have not entered the recovery phase, and still in several stages, spinners should not rush to phase three, which means they should not rush to restart their production activities, this is going to be a disaster. As you see, many of the spinning mills have started their operations just a couple of days back, whereas the weaving, knitting, processing, and garmenting industry haven't yet started. As many mills have huge inventories of raw material and as well as finished goods, nobody can predict when the scenario is going to reverse to pre-COVID-19 levels. So the spinning mills are going to absorb this huge cost of inventory apart from the expenses during these two phases, survival and recovery phase of the COVID-19, which I mean to say. And also the fashion houses across the globe have stopped, and also they have postponed their shows until 2021. So the requirement change post-COVID-19 will give a big impact on the existing products spun by the spinning industry. So it is going to be a very, very difficult phase. So for us to define the operating model for phase three, from the lesson learned from the crisis, what we should try to build a more resilient and agile business. Also, we must keep in mind that the present crisis, what China is facing, as I told you earlier, that after starting of the mills, within 2-3 weeks, again, they have to shut down because of lack of orders. So this they have to keep in mind, then only they have to start. And the manufacturers should keep their units start their units with a clear vision of their business model post COVID-19 and should not rush to restart at the earliest. Of course, once the lockdown is over, all the manufacturers will try to get into phase three as soon as possible, thinking that they are going to reduce their costs. But the uncertainty and the duration and the severity of the pandemic makes any prediction difficult. This is the first time in our generation we are facing this type of crisis. So as I said earlier, spinning mills are to be aware of the external developments to organize better for manufacturing the product which will be required by the market post-COVID. See, of course, I do understand that there was a requirement in health industry, and all of a sudden the entire textile industry started manufacturing the PPE kits, and now India stands the second largest manufacturer of PPE kits. So these are the things, there will be many changes. So the market has to be, the spinning mills have to look into the market to have a flexible product range. So this is what we see. And again, another important thing is the post-endemic stage will see an emergence of a new human being whose daily behavior and thinking will differ from what it was before the COVID-19 outbreak. In fact, we will find ourselves faced with a generation who thinks differently from the pre-pandemic generation. For an example, you can see these workers from the other states wanted to go back, and we are going to anticipate that more than 50% of the workers are not going to come back. So the spinning mills have to be ready to accept this reality, and they should have some alternate solutions for this shortage of workforce. I am not only talking about the workforce. In general, globally, if you see, the many expatriates, NRIs who live in other countries wanted to return to India once for all after this, seeing this crisis. In fact, we have to thank the government. In fact, they have organized and maintained this lockdown in a very successful manner comparing to all much developed countries, which everybody knows. So this is a big change happening in the people behavior due to COVID-19. For implementing the to the third phases, we have some suggestions to the spinning mills. Three strategic priorities post COVID-19 to be a successful spinner. The mills have to implement. The first one is the organizational restructuring they have to do. Maybe this they can even start planning at the recovery phase. So they need not wait until the third phase. So organizational restructuring they can start doing at the recovery phase itself. And as I told you, the smart mill digitalization of the spinning mills. So again, this digitalization of the spinning mills is going to help the mills to restructure their organization by engaging less number of people, and with the data available, they can try to maintain the machines in a better way to give us the highest productivity levels. So, and the third one is the flexibility of the product mix and easy switchover, especially with regard to value added products. So these are the three key strategic priorities which we anticipate as in the Pinter Group we are anticipating. So if the mills follow this, definitely they will be more successful in the coming days. One is to improve the efficiency and productivity of a spinning mill. We have a certain products, and the second one is the value addition. And as everyone knows, Pinter is the pioneer and also the market leader in both these technologies. So as I told you, the three strategic priorities, coming to the organizational restructure. See, with our monitoring system and roving stock, already many of our customers have started implementing this by reducing the workforce in their spinning department, engaging more number of spindles, and also engaging the e-bike, by which many customers in globally in China and other places, even one operator is taking care of 10 to 15,000 spindles depending upon the breakage level and the count pattern what they are running. But whereas in India, if you see, the best mill, they engage around 5,000 spindles only, even now. So this is going to be a very key factor for the spinning mills to implement this system. And with the smart mill initiatives, so data which is being collected online, offline, so you have a monitoring system, and with the monitoring system, you can have the planning better. The production can be planned to increase the flexibility and to decrease the production time. Then the maintenance you have, the machines must be kept in their highest performance level and predict failures. And the communication, the data must flow easily from the machines to all members of the company. Maybe cloud computing and IoT are the technologies that enable this data flow. And quality, see, the data quality, what you collect in the QC department is summarized and delivered and ready for analysis at any point of time, either it is an online system or it is an offline system. And again, the optimization, the best possible adjustments to reduce the cost and time can be achieved with our systems. And also the system advises the spinning manager how to set the machines to get a desired yarn. And also the predictions, finally the predictions. When I say automation, correction, and autonomous. So when I say autonomous is the predictions. So this predicts that what are all the changes to be carried out in case of any non-conformity in any areas, whether it is in the raw material stage or whether it is in the production stage, in the preparatory, or it is in the spinning stage, or it is in the winding stage. So all this put together, So this will really help, our product will help the industry to achieve its best efficiency and highest productivity. So this is what we are anticipating. Coming to value added project, majority of the spinners are producing commodity yarn in India, for which they may have to compete with many different economical structure of mills. No, many mills have some. There are some 6,000 spindles mills. That some are 25,000. Some are more than 100,000 spindles. So the economic structure of the mills is different. But all these three or this spinning mills produce same count patterns. So it is very difficult for them to compete with each other and make a very economical yarn and make profits out of it, what they do. So, and also the market is very, very uncertain. So the requirement changes frequently. The market, the raw material cost change is fluctuating. So all this is a very big uncertainty. What we suggest is, like China is the largest manufacturer of technical textiles and industrial yarn in huge volumes. There are very few customers in India who are manufacturing the same, which is, and again, it is not meeting the global demand. So spinners must explore this market and take advantage of the present crisis for manufacturing the technical textiles and industrial yarn. For an example, as I told you earlier, the PPE kits in very short time, now our people were switched over to this, and they are now, they say India is the second largest manufacturer of PPE kits. And also I have an input, they are going to, by end of May, they are going to say that India is the largest manufacturer of face masks. So these are all the value additions or the product flexibility. Every spinner have to start exploring and start implementing in their production line. So definitely this is going to help them. Pinter, we have various products now, like we have the coarse spun yarn attachments, we have slab attachments, we have injection slabs, then we have the mosaic yarns, and these definitely is going to help them using this, where they can have this value added. For an example, I can tell Loyal Textiles launched their masks with the coarse spun yarn, so which is definitely helping the industry, and also which is also helping the spinner to sell their product much faster. Already many countries like even Bangladesh and Vietnam, all their governments have taken various measures to reverse the economic trend. And it is being done at the war footing level. So we hope Indian government also will do the same, so to take this advantage. Again, as I told you, all the international buyers from the US market or European market are still closed, and all the fashion houses have postponed their shows to 2021. We really do not know when this is going to be end. But for India, it is totally a different scenario actually. Indian domestic market is a huge market. Even in the earlier crisis, Indian domestic market was driving the textile mills internally, so that they were not affected in a very bad situation like what other countries got affected. So we feel that by Diwali, by October, November, things has to improve. And maybe from January later on, maybe we can come to pre-COVID levels if everything goes well by God's grace.